Ladies and gentlemen, today we're traveling on an Airbus A320 and it's important Airport Terminal 4.
Moving to another country alone feels very exciting but scary at the same time. I spend most of my days here alone, without friends and without family. I had to learn to integrate myself into a new place. But though I was alone, I have never felt more alive because of this opportunity to live in a different place from where I grew up in. I guess you could say people really grow when they move away from the place that they grew up in. Singapore is beautiful, and the people are nice, and they definitely prioritize your safety. Because the one thing that surprised me when I moved here is the fact that they have crazy amount of CCTV cameras everywhere. Though it feels a teeny bit uncomfortable to be constantly monitored by cameras, but I feel the safety and security of walking out alone even at night. So I spend my remaining days here thinking about discovering and unlocking Singapore's beauty. Instead of being focused on being alone, I decided to choose the sense of exploration in me. They say the cost of living in Singapore is quite high, but to my observation, like hawker store food like this only costs me like what, $4 to $10 a meal. That's really cheap. And if you're preferring to go for something more fancy, like a food at a cafe or a restaurant, then it's going to cost you somewhere between $10 to $20 a meal. But what about the cost of rent in Singapore? Honestly speaking, this is going to be one of the most expensive places to live in because Singapore is known as one of the most expensive places to rent in the whole of the world. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it is a small country and there's a lot of people seeking opportunities here. So do expect to be paying a whole lot for rent because the demand is really high but the supply is really limited. Getting to work in Singapore is very easy because their public transportations from MRT to bus stations are all very well connected. So many locals today prefer to use the readily available transportation instead of buying a car because the cost of owning a car in Singapore can be a bit crazy for an average day-to-day worker's paycheck. An MRT or bus ride here typically costs between $1 to $2 per ride no matter how far you go. And Singapore is also highly known for its famous reputation of being the most overworked country in Asia Pacific. And my first impressions of that is yes, Singaporeans take their work very seriously and commit a minimum of 44 to 45 hours at work and some up to 50 hours a week across 5 to 6 days of work. Some companies offer the work-life balance that you seek, and some not so much. So definitely be very careful in selecting the right kind of job offer for you.